am SinbadEV, and this is my review of Sentek's Runic Teleporters mod. I have a couple other mods installed just for utility and demonstrating, but I'm going to focus on this mod, which basically, let's say I want to be over there. I can build a weird thingy like this, and then teleport over there. That is that. So basically, the mod adds three features, well, three items, blocks, the core, the miner's core, and the node. Now, the three blocks, core, like I said, is just a cobblestone and an oak sapling to make a core. There's the miner's core, which basically it's the same thing, but you can build it when you're mining. So it's a cobblestone and a redstone. And finally, the node, which is just a stone and a cobblestone. Now, the way these things work is pretty straightforward. Essentially, place one of the cores and then a block beside it to say how far you're going to go. So if I place a core, if I place a core, doesn't matter if it's the miner's core or the basic one, it's going to teleport me to the top of the core. Okay? Then, basically, any blocks I add around the core modify that. So if I put a cobblestone to the left of a core, it puts me one to the left. Now, a cobblestone's worth 1. A stone is worth 5. So if I right-click on this one, I move 5 to the left of the top of the core. So you'll notice that when I teleported there, I was a little bit in the air. The stone bricks count as 20. And you'll notice that when I warped here, there's some glass under me. The reason that's happening is there's some options in this mod. In the configuration file, I'll mention those little, I mention them now. So as you can imagine, if you're warping yourself around the world, sometimes you end up in places where you might fall to your death, and sometimes you might end up in a hole underground. So basically, if you land in a space where you're going to fall from, it puts glass down if you have one of the features activated in the file. Otherwise, it just warps you up there and you fall and die, which is probably the better option for cases of like real life situations. The problem I've found with these blocks here, and then the other example is this thing is going to warp me underground off the world. So you can completely die just by falling off the world. Or you can also teleport yourself into nothing. Now, if I teleported myself into solid rock without the second feature, the air pockets feature enabled, I would just suffocate and die. So, to avoid that, we enable those two features. The problem with the air pocket feature is that it destroys whatever is where you show up. So if you have an enchanting table or anything around where you warp down to, you destroy it. So I don't actually like this feature, but I like that it's an option that you can turn off and on. Anyways, back we come to the basics again. So as you've probably noticed, the obsidian is doing something different. It's just moving me 100. Now another interesting thing in the configuration, and I didn't mention this, all you need to do to activate the core is right click on it. One of the glitches I don't like about it is if I have a block in my hand and I activate it, it still activates. Um, that frustrates me because sometimes I'm trying to pull a block on top and it warps me instead. And I'm like, oh no, I just died because I warped inside the world, or out of the world. But you can hold shift and place on top of it without any problems. So it's totally workable. You just have to remember not to accidentally click. You have to right click. So easy peasy. So yes, sorry, I was going to mention the other configuration file settings allow you to change the recipes. You can change what the sapling would be in the basic core recipe and what the redstone is in the miner's core recipe. To, as I understand it, any item in the game. You just have to configuration change there. And you can change how far each of the blocks takes you. You can change how far bricks, stone, cobblestone, obsidian, or sandstone will take you. Yeah, sandstone's the other one that will warp you. And basically, a sandstone takes you 20, just like a stone brick would. Seared stone, which is something from Tinker's Constructs, just like pretty much everything, has no effect. And a stone slab, again, as I have understood it, has no effect. You know what? I didn't think to try layers of stone slabs. Oops. No, yeah, so slabs don't do anything. However, cracked stone bricks count as stone bricks, teleporting you 20. And both mossy stone bricks and chiseled stone bricks also count for 20. So those all work like the stone bricks. And sandstone, as I mentioned, is 20. And if you hadn't noticed, it doesn't matter what else is around it, as long as it's not stone and doesn't affect your actual calculation, it'll warp you. Now, the other stone types also work. Granite, polished granite, diorite, polished diorite, andesite, and polished andesite, however, all move you 5. No difference between polished and unpolished there. When I say, I guess I mentioned this, when I say calculation, I mean the following. So, when you are building your crazy contraption, teleporter, it does the math. So, a core will take me 4 to the left because of 4 cobblestones to the left and 5 to the right because of stone to the right, which for 5 to the right, 4 to the left will put me right here because it's 5 minus 4. If I have 5 on both sides, this takes me in the middle because they cancel each other out. Now, something you might not realize is, I guess I should mention nodes. So what a node does is it basically acts as a repeater. So if there's something above, like a cobblestone above, that would take me up 1. But then there's this repeater here, and then this other block to the left of the repeater will take me to the left 5. So that takes me up 1 and 5 to the left. The repeaters can be combined, adding and subtracting just like everything else. And so here I've got it taking me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, 5 down, 1 more down, and 1 backwards. We got another back there, which will, of course, bring me exactly where I started. So yeah, okay. So now that I have explained nodes, I will mention the weirdness. So cores, whether minus core or normal cores, count as repeater nodes, but from the place that they are. So this node, core, will take me 5 to the right of that core. And this core will take me 5 to the right of that same core. So, see, that one takes me to the right glass block. This one takes me to the left glass block. Probably easier to demonstrate here. So if I want to warp to the top here, this node will take me to the top of the first stack. This node will take me that same height, but above the second node. This will take me that same height above the third node. And if I put down another node, again, same height, but above that extra node. So you got to be careful with that. They do chain together. Now, another eccentricity, if you have 10 high, it'll work. Boop. So you notice I went 10 high and one to the side. The reason I do that is because if let's say I had decided to put something valuable up here, like an obsidian, when I try to warp into it, it erases the obsidian because of the air pocket feature. So if you do not want to be erasing things out of your world, do not turn on the air pocket feature. But if you're okay with that, then whatever. As I was saying, 10 works, 11 doesn't. As you can see, that second tower is one higher, but I warped exactly the same place. Doesn't matter how many extra cobblestones I put on top here, it doesn't read past the 10th. That's a little glitch, I think. Not sure it's intentional. It's definitely not documented. I was hoping to be able to make giant towers of cobblestone and get to the top of them, and that didn't work out. However, the 10 in a row thing is only for blocks. Nodes, no problem. So up here I have 2 stones, which would bring me up 10. And then all these, definitely, I think it's 13, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it reads through all those and takes me the 10 that the 2 bricks at the top would do. So it only seems to be a limitation of actual value blocks. And so if you do want to get around that minor glitch, you'll see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then a repeater node, and then 10, 11 here. So that's essentially 11 blocks in a row. And it takes, and over 1, obviously, and it does take me up the 11 distance. So that works just fine. Just not 10 in a row. Anyways, as far as this mod is concerned, I am super happy with it. I like teleporters because once you've walked somewhere, trying to get back there is this big long walk. I hate that. Should mention that blocks are mineable with of mining axes, but they are destroyed by other types of stuff. Anyways, yeah, so that is the Sentek Runic teleporters, and I like it very much. I'm gonna give it 3, 4 green nodes, 4 green cores out of 5. Yeah. Anyways, and just for fun of it, let's see what happens when I do this. Boop. That didn't work. All right. Let's see if I can crash the game here. Not quite, but definitely fallen. So that's cool. Anyways, thanks. I'm not sure if you would ever need to do this, but let's say you wanted to have one of these things take you somewhere. As long as it's within range, it will warp you to where it is. So you could theoretically set up a path of these things to get kind of like a quick, fast travel thing going on. Not sure that's a useful feature, but it is kind of cool that that works that way. Anyways,